Hi everybody. So today I'm going to talk to you about how to use my sponges and the different types of medium you can use them with, and also how to clean them. Okay, so for today I'm just going to use one of the 4-packs. I have mixed up some golden, so I'll show you how to use the air dry. So once you mix up your paints, you want to sweep the paint across the top of the sponge, so like this, and that helps keep it from being oversaturated. It's very, very important, especially with air dry paints. And so I always do a quick stamp just to get off any of the areas that the paint is a little thicker or heavier before you would go back. And obviously I would never use this color. But then when you go back, you just stamp it on to your kit. Okay? Now to clean this, as soon as I'm done painting with this sponge, I'm going to get a container of water, or you can do this in your sink and you just go in and soak up the water and then squeeze out the excess to get all the extra paint out of the sponge. You never want to let the paint cure on the sponge with air dry because it will make the entire surface of your sponge hard and crusty, and it will be basically unusable. So after you rinse it out with water, just go back, stamp it off onto a paper towel, and then obviously I would clean this a little bit better, but let it dry on a paper towel overnight, and then you can usually use it by the next day. Okay, so if I'm going to use heat set, which I have some Genesis here, again, you use it the same way. You paint it across the top of the surface of the sponge. And then when you stamp it off, you would stamp this onto your kit. When you're done with this, though, all you have to do is just stamp it off until it's basically all off of the surface of the sponge. With heat set and air dry especially, your paint's going to stain your sponge. So whenever you use this sponge again, don't pick this up and use it for yellow. Always stay in the same color family, because you can get some transfer of the pigment off of this sponge, and you don't want to mix it. So if you use the yellow with this, I mean, it's going to be, your printout is going to be orange. It's not going to look the color that you put on it. So stay within that color family. Okay. Now silicone is going to be a little bit different as well. So silicone, I just mixed up a little bit of red here. So I'm going to do the same thing. You always paint it across the surface of your sponge. And then again, blot off just a little bit of the extra and then go back and use it, okay? Before you clean it, just blot off whatever you can. This is a container of mineral spirits. So you're going to do it the same way that you did with the air dry. You're going to just keep saturating it and squeezing out the excess paint until it's clean. And then you're going to blot it off, and then you're going to just let it dry on a paper towel. Okay? For anybody that doesn't know, my sponges are latex free, and they are safe to use for silicone painting. I would say though, because I'm a silicone painter, I have tested numerous batches of these and the silicone has cured just fine on them, but as a safeguard, I would always suggest put a little bit of silicone on the back of one of your sponges and let it cure, just to make certain. You know, I'm not the one who actually makes these sponges, and if they ever change anything about them, I wouldn't know unless I tested them before I used them on silicone. I'm always really cautious about silicone. So that is all you need to know about how to use them and how to clean them. And you can see this swells up considerably when it's wet. And that's why you want to paint your whatever medium you use across the surface rather than letting it get saturated. And especially with air dry, if you're using it and you feel like it's starting to swell, use a different sponge. Don't stay with the same one all the way through however many layers you're doing, because once it swells, it does change the pattern slightly. Okay? All right, guys. I think that's all I needed to let you know, so you know how to care for your sponges correctly, and they'll last you a long time as long as you take care of them and you clean them in the proper way, depending on the medium that you're using them with. All right, thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.